Hey everybody, welcome back to the show. So with the newly reimposed eyeball restrictions, I'm back to not being able to do much. So we need to find a way to create some content for the feed, keep the lights on around here. Lucky me, I had a repeat question on the prior W4 walk-around episode that kept coming up over and over again. Yeah, it's a little bit frosty out here. And I answered it several times, but it just kept getting asked over and over again. So I finally decided, instead of spending all this time typing out each individual response that only that person is going to see, because I don't think anybody reads the comment section, I'll just take this one as a sample. So the question was, hey, would you please explain the jar air cleaner? I never understood why they were there or what they actually did. And we're talking about this Donaldson style pre-cleaner top right here that's got the glass jar on it. They're actually pretty simple, quite effective. So let's break down what actually happens in one of these. And we'll place it up right here. So I've got this manual laid out. It's got a cutaway view of a pre-cleaner top with a jar and the rest of the air cleaner. And we'll just go through how the manual states that it works. It says air enters the engine through the vanes of the pre-cleaner, which are these slatted openings right here. And you can tell they're arranged all on the same angle, like a Venetian blind. Okay? Those vanes give it a swirling motion, throwing out the heavier particles into the jar. And you can see where the air comes in the bottom of it right there. The little arrows go through the jar, swirls around, dirt falls out, goes back into the top. Okay, so it enters through those slats and swirls around up in there, goes down through the jar. Big dirt particles settle out in the jar for easy removal, and then it goes back into the air cleaner top. After passing down the inlet pipe to the center oil cup, which is going to be from the top down through this pipe down to the bottom there. So this is the pipe we're talking about right here. It's going to go down. We're down in the cup at this point. The air is deflected upward through a series of screens, carrying drops of oil up into the screens. So yes, goes down through that oil, goes up through all of those screens. The oil absorbs dirt from the air as it passes through these screens. The screens are sloped so that the air sweeps the dirt-laden oil toward the outside of the cleaner, where it falls down into the outside or settling cup. So it goes down through that oil, gets picked up. Now the finer particles are going to mix with the oil. It's going to go back up through the screens, and it's going to do like a swirl again, go all the way out to the outside wall of this cleaner. And then when the oil runs back down and settles back into the cup, it takes all that dirt with it. And once the dirt reaches the top of the air cleaner, it exits out the side and goes down through this pipe into the carburetor, which then takes it on into the engine. So the only other question now is, when should these pre-cleaner style air cleaner tops be fitted? Well, you could put one on anytime, really. They certainly don't hurt. I prefer to have them on tractors because they just add an extra accent to the top of the unit. But in the real world practicality purposes, you would want to fit one of these if you were operating in extremely dirty or dusty conditions beyond what would normally be encountered, because these go a long way towards keeping the rest of the interior of the air cleaner itself clean. It pre-screens out all the worst of the particles, deposits them into the jar so you can just easily dump them out, and keeps the oil that's down in the cup cleaner a lot longer. So I hope that makes sense to everyone. The morning sun is coming up, so we're going to be fighting some intense glare here in a minute, so perfect time to wrap the episode up. I wanted to touch upon one other comment that I found underneath the prior W4 walk-around episode as well. And I'm not calling this person out, and I'm hoping that I'm not misinterpreting what they said. It was a little bit hard to follow, but it feeds into another point that I want to make given recent events. So it says, so now when I hunt your channel down, you now have other channels mixed in like Frank Fritz and other BS. Don't whine if people complain. You're one tragic/fragile right after another, which is okay because of your style work. I am here to learn cats, not Fritz. From what I gather from it, I think he wants all Caterpillar content, or maybe was expecting that, or had gotten that impression, because I have playlists that compile a lot of Caterpillar content in one place. I've also got playlists that compile a lot of Minneapolis Marine and IH and field work and general all-around life things. And that's really what this is. It's a general all-around, this is my life, these are the things I do channel. So we're not here to take requests per se, because if I tried to make everyone happy, I would fail every day. So it's more of, this is either your style of varied content or it's not, and you're free to seek it other places. But the interesting part of this is, so many of these machines all operate upon the same principles. So even if it's not the color that is your preference, the same principles apply. They're still hunks of cast iron with pistons and spinning shafts and some tin and sheet metal. Some have rubber that interface with the ground, some have steel, but otherwise all these things apply. And to illustrate the point, the workshop manual breakdown that I used to describe this air cleaner that's on an IH, it's a Caterpillar diesel engine manual. This stuff is all the same. It all transfers over, and we just learned about Caterpillar this morning, as well as IH, as well as Massey Ferguson or Minneapolis Marine or John Deere or Ford. They all operate upon the same principles, and many of them of this era share very similar parts. So this is still an educational episode if you can take the information that's presented and apply it accordingly. So that's going to be that for the episode today. I hope that makes sense to everyone. And sunshine's starting to bother the bad eye, so I'm trying to back up and find some shade, hopefully get a tree between me and the sun. There we are. That's a lot better. So thank you for watching, everyone. We'll continue on here as we are able to, for as long as we are able to, and I hope to see y'all back again.